Virgo, you are someone who plans carefully. You research before you act. You assess before you commit. You prepare before you step forward. And there is real genuine wisdom in that way of moving through the world. Your mind works like a finely tuned instrument, always scanning, always measuring, always asking whether something makes sense before it allows itself to trust. That carefulness has served you. It has protected you from mistakes that others have made. It has helped you build things that last. But here is what no amount of planning can fully account for: the opportunities that the universe sends through paths you never thought to map. The ones that arrive in the quiet gaps between your carefully laid plans. The unexpected conversations that shift everything. The unscheduled moments that open doors you never thought to knock on. The chance encounters that contain more possibility than any list you ever made. These 11 opportunities are already moving toward you. They are already in motion. They did not come through any of the channels you prepared for, and that is exactly why they carry so much power. Your sharp, perceptive, deeply observant mind will be the first to recognize them when they appear. Trust that. Let yourself be surprised by what is coming. 1. A second chance at something you had already mentally closed the file on. There is something in your past, a door you tried, a path you walked partway down, a possibility that felt real until it did not, and at some point your mind did what it always does when faced with evidence. It processed the outcome, filed it under the category of things that did not work, and moved on. That is how you operate. You do not waste energy on what appears to be finished. You redirect. You refocus. You find the next thing worth your careful attention. It is one of your strongest qualities. But Virgo, what is coming toward you now is something that your logical mind may initially resist because it looks familiar. It looks like the thing you already tried. It looks like the door you already closed. And your instinct will be to walk past it, to remind yourself that you already know how that story ends because you were there. You lived it. You filed it. But this is not a repetition. This is a return, and there is a meaningful difference between those two things. A repetition brings you back to the same moment with the same conditions and the same outcome. A return brings you back to something with new conditions, new understanding, and a version of yourself that is fundamentally different from the one who walked away the first time. The opportunity approaching you now is asking you to look again. Not because you were wrong to close that file, you were not. You were responding to what was real at the time. But time has moved. Circumstances have shifted. The people involved, the conditions surrounding it, the timing itself, something has changed, and that change is significant enough to make what was once truly closed now genuinely open again. The hardest part for you will be allowing yourself to see it with fresh eyes when everything in your analytical mind wants to reference what you already know. That internal library of past experience is enormously valuable, but in this case, it may be working against you. The wisdom here is not to forget what happened before. It is to hold it lightly enough that you can also see what is different now. Look again, Virgo. Look with the same sharp perception you always bring, but also with a willingness to be surprised. What you once let go may be ready to find you again in a form that is better suited to who you have become. 2. A new connection arrives that opens a door your detailed planning had never mapped. You plan for many things. You think ahead with a level of care and thoroughness that few people around you can match. You consider possibilities, you anticipate obstacles, you build contingency into your thinking almost without realizing you are doing it. But no plan, however detailed, can account for the human element in all its unpredictability. And the connection approaching you now is exactly that, a human element, a person arriving in your orbit who is not in any plan you drew up, who came through no channel you deliberately cultivated, and who carries something your roadmap simply did not include. This is not a failure of your planning. This is the universe doing something that plans cannot do. It is placing someone in your path who holds a piece of your next chapter that you could not have found on your own, not because you lack the intelligence or the resourcefulness, but because you were not looking in the direction from which this person is coming. New connections carry a particular kind of energy. They have not yet been filtered through all the ways you usually assess people. They arrive before your discernment has had the chance to fully engage, which means they carry the possibility of genuine surprise. And Virgo, you do not often allow yourself to be genuinely surprised. You tend to know what to expect from people because you study them carefully, but this one will show you something you did not see coming. Pay close attention to who appears in your life over the coming days and weeks. Pay attention to the person in an ordinary setting who says something that catches your ear in an unexpected way. Pay attention to the exchange that seems brief and incidental but leaves a thought in your mind that you keep returning to. Pay attention to the introduction made through a chain of events that seemed accidental but, in hindsight, was not accidental at all. When this connection appears, you will feel a kind of alertness that is different from your usual discernment. Not suspicion, not analysis, something quieter. Something that says, this person matters. Trust that signal. Let the conversation go further than you might ordinarily allow. Let yourself be a little less guarded, a little more open to where this leads. The door this person carries a key to is never on your map, because it leads somewhere your planning mind had not yet imagined. Let yourself be led there. If what you are hearing feels accurate, know that it could happen if you applied this energy consistently for 21 consecutive days. That is the 21-day challenge pinned at the top of this channel. It is built around daily guidance, focused direction, and real momentum. If you are tired of staying in the same cycle, that structure is exactly what has been missing. 3. A skill or area of knowledge you considered secondary turns out to be exactly what a moment requires. Virgo, you have spent years developing yourself. You have learned, studied, refined, and practiced across many different areas of life. But like most thoughtful people, you have organized your skills into a kind of internal hierarchy. There are the abilities you lead with, the ones that define how you see yourself and how others tend to see you. And then there are the quieter ones, the things you know how to do, the areas where you have some depth, the interests you pursued out of personal curiosity or out of necessity without ever really claiming them as part of your identity. You may have told yourself they were not quite serious enough, not quite polished enough, not quite the right thing to foreground. But the opportunity approaching now is going to call on exactly one of those quieter skills. Not the one you would have predicted. Not the one you would have prepared specifically for this moment. The one you almost forgot you had, or the one you never quite gave yourself credit for. There is something deeply poetic about this, and it is worth sitting with for a moment. The very thing you considered secondary, the skill or knowledge area you never fully claimed, is the one that will step forward at precisely the right moment and prove its worth in a way that your leading abilities could not have. Life has a way of doing this, of vindicating the parts of us we never thought to showcase. Think back across your life and your learning. Consider the things you know how to do that you rarely mention. Consider the areas where you have genuine understanding but rarely present yourself as someone with that understanding. One of those things is about to become relevant in a very specific, very real, and very meaningful way. Do not dismiss it when the moment comes. Do not apologize for what you know. Do not preface it with all the ways you are not an expert. Step forward with what you have. It is enough. In fact, for this moment, it is exactly enough. And the confidence that comes from being genuinely useful in an unexpected way will stay with you long after the moment passes. 4. A project or idea that stalled finds the perfect conditions to begin again. There is something you started or nearly started that lost its momentum. Maybe the timing was wrong. Maybe the resources you needed were not yet available. Maybe the person or structure you depended on shifted in a way that made progress impossible, and eventually the project settled into a kind of suspended state. Not abandoned exactly. You are not someone who abandons things lightly. More like placed on pause, kept in a mental drawer somewhere, returned to occasionally with a mixture of longing and practicality. You have thought about it. You have wondered whether it still makes sense. You have asked yourself whether you are holding on out of genuine belief or simply out of the difficulty of fully letting go. But the conditions around that stalled project are changing. Something that was blocked is moving. Something that was unavailable is becoming accessible. Something in the environment surrounding that idea is aligning in a way that it simply was not before. And the window that is opening is not guaranteed to stay open indefinitely. This is not a gentle nudge to revisit something for the sake of nostalgia. This is a real practical signal that the conditions have shifted enough to make what was previously stuck genuinely possible to move forward. Your task right now is to return to it with fresh eyes. Not the exhausted eyes of someone who tried before and ran into walls, but the clear eyes of someone who now has more information, more experience, and possibly different resources than were available the first time. Look at what has changed. Look at what you know now that you did not know then. Look at whether the obstacles that stopped you before are still present, or whether they have dissolved in the time you spent waiting. You may find that the path forward is far clearer than you expected. You may find that the timing, which felt like a barrier, was actually a gift. that the pause gave you exactly the preparation you needed to do this right. 5. Someone in your life reveals a possibility you did not know was available. You are observant. You notice things. You pick up on details that escape the attention of almost everyone around you. And yet, there are things close to you that remain invisible simply because they are too close. The person who has been in your life long enough that you have stopped looking carefully at who they are becoming. The relationship that has developed in ways you have not yet had the space to fully see. The individual in your daily orbit who has grown or shifted, or developed something new that they have not yet found the right moment to show you. And that moment is coming. Someone who is already part of your life. Someone you know, someone you trust, someone you may have stopped fully examining simply because they are familiar, is going to share something with you that changes your understanding of what is available to you. It may come in the form of an offer you did not know they had the capacity to make. It may come as information about a path or opportunity they are connected to that they have never mentioned before. It may come as a simple, honest conversation in which they say something that opens a door in your thinking that had never been opened before. Virgo, your tendency is to rely primarily on yourself, on your own research, your own analysis, your own conclusions. That independence is a genuine strength. But it can also cause you to underestimate the resources that the people around you hold, simply because you never thought to look for them there. The person approaching this conversation with you is someone who has been in your life for a reason. And part of that reason, it turns out, is this very moment when what they carry and what you need finally align. Be open to it. Be willing to let someone who knows you well show you something you did not know was there. The universe sometimes delivers its greatest opportunities through the most familiar hands. 6. A challenge you have been methodically working through reveals its hidden advantage. You have been working on something difficult. You have been doing what you always do when faced with a challenge, applying your methodical nature, your patience, your careful problem solving to whatever has been in your way. You have not given up. You have not taken shortcuts. You have stayed with it, step by step, with the kind of quiet, persistent commitment that is one of your most powerful characteristics. And you may have felt at times that the effort was disproportionate to the result, that the amount of energy you were pouring in was not being reflected in what was coming out, that this challenge, for all your careful attention to it, was simply harder than it should have been. But Virgo, there is a revelation coming, and it is the kind that only becomes visible from the other side of sustained effort. The challenge you have been working through has been doing something you could not see from inside it. It has been building something in you. It has been sharpening something that was already sharp. It has been developing a capacity, a resilience, a specific form of understanding that you could not have acquired any other way. And the hidden advantage embedded in this difficulty is about to become visible. Not because the challenge disappears overnight, but because you are close enough to the other side now that you can begin to see what the terrain looked like from above, what the difficulty was actually preparing you for, what the hard work was actually making possible, what the sustained effort was actually building toward. When this advantage reveals itself, it will make sense in a way that may surprise even you. It will connect dots that seemed entirely unrelated. It will show you that the path through this challenge led directly to something you needed, not despite the difficulty, but because of it. Let yourself feel the significance of that when it becomes clear. You earned this. If this message is resonating with your sign right now, trust that it is not a coincidence. When the universe wants to speak to you, it sends exactly the right signal at exactly the right moment. And you are here because you needed to hear this today. Your support, whether as a subscriber or as a member of this community, is what keeps these messages alive. The ones that touch hearts, awaken minds, and transform lives. If this video has been making sense to you, drop in the comments the day you were born. Let us keep going. 7. A moment of honest, unfiltered communication creates a breakthrough where analysis alone could not. You are deeply comfortable with analysis. You trust your mind. You trust the process of examining something from every angle, gathering information, weighing factors, drawing careful conclusions. It is one of the things that makes you genuinely exceptional. Your ability to think through complexity with precision and care. But there are certain kinds of breakthroughs that thinking alone cannot produce. There are knots that cannot be untied by the mind because they were never created by the mind in the first place. They were created in the heart, in the space between people, in the unspoken weight of things that needed to be said and never were. The breakthrough approaching you now is of exactly this kind. It will not come through more analysis. It will not come through a more detailed plan or a more thorough assessment. It will come through a moment of honest, direct, unfiltered communication. The kind that you do not always allow yourself, because you are careful with your words and careful with your vulnerability. But something is asking you to speak plainly, to say the thing that has been waiting behind your careful, measured language, to let another person see something real in you, or to finally say something real to someone else, without all the qualifications and the careful framing that your analytical mind tends to layer around any message that carries emotional weight. When this moment arrives, you will feel it. There will be a quality of realness to it, an urgency that is different from anxiety, more like clarity, like something that has been building finally finding its natural release point. Trust that feeling. Say the thing. Speak the truth as you know it, simply and directly, without all the armor of analysis. What comes through in the aftermath of that honest moment will surprise you. It will open something that no amount of thinking had been able to open. This is the power of authentic communication, and it is a breakthrough Virgo is ready for. 8. An unexpected message reframes a plan and makes it better than the original. You have built something, a plan, a direction, a vision for how something is supposed to unfold. You have thought it through carefully. You have considered the angles, anticipated the challenges, organized the steps. And you have been moving in that direction with the quiet confidence that comes from having done the work of preparation. Then something arrives, a message, a piece of information, a word from someone you may not have expected to hear from, and it shifts the frame around your plan. Not by destroying it, not by revealing it as wrong, but by adding something or adjusting something, or showing you an angle you had not accounted for. And what initially might feel like a disruption to what you already constructed will, when you sit with it, begin to reveal itself as an improvement. Your first instinct, Virgo, may be resistance. You built this plan thoughtfully. You put real effort and intelligence into its construction, and something in you does not yield easily to information that asks you to revise your work. That protective instinct makes sense. But this incoming information is not a criticism of what you built. It is a complement to it. It is the piece that was always missing, the angle you could not have seen from where you were standing when you built the original version. When this message arrives, take a breath before responding to it. Give yourself the space to sit with what it is saying without immediately defending what you already planned. Let it land. Let it show you where it fits. Then look at your plan again with this new information woven in, and allow yourself to see what becomes possible when you let it be better than what you first imagined. The revised version is stronger, more complete, more aligned with where you are actually headed. Your planning mind will recognize this once the initial resistance settles. Let it recognize it. 9. Something you nearly abandoned gives one clear, final signal that it still has life. There is something you have been holding on to barely. Something that has been demanding more of your patience than you originally budgeted for. Something that has tested your trust in your own judgment, that has made you question whether the investment of your time and energy has been wise, that has sat in a place of uncertainty long enough that you have started to calculate, in the back of your careful mind, at what point walking away becomes the more logical choice. You have not walked away yet. Something, call it intuition, call it stubbornness, call it the part of you that believes in seeing things through, has kept you holding on. But the holding has been tiring, and there have been moments of genuine doubt. Then something happens. Not a dramatic sign. Not an undeniable, unmistakable, flashing signal that removes all uncertainty. Something quieter. A small but clear indication that there is still life in this thing. A shift you almost missed. A development you were not quite expecting. A moment of movement in something that had been frustratingly still. When this happens, pay attention, Virgo. Do not dismiss it because it is small. Do not explain it away because your analytical mind knows how to find the rational counterargument. Something you nearly let go of is telling you clearly and specifically that it is not finished. That the patience you have been extending was not wasted. That you were right to stay with it, even when the evidence was thin and the doubt was loud. This signal is the turning point. It is the moment when what required faith begins to require simply attention. What follows this signal is movement, real, visible, verifiable movement, in the thing that has been waiting for the right conditions to come alive. Trust the signal. You recognized it for a reason. 10. A pattern in your life finally breaks, making room for something entirely new. There is a pattern you have been living in. You may be fully aware of it, Or it may be one of those things that operates more quietly beneath the surface of your daily choices, something you feel more than you can articulate, a recurring shape in your experiences that shows up across different areas of your life and always ends the same way. Virgo, you are observant enough to notice patterns. You are honest enough with yourself when you allow that honesty to acknowledge when a pattern is not serving you. And there may be more than one, but there is one in particular that has been ready to break for longer than you realize. The conditions for its breaking are now in place. Not through force. Not through the kind of willpower-driven effort that you have perhaps already tried when it comes to this particular pattern. It will break through a shift in the circumstances surrounding it, a change in the situation, or in the people involved, or in something about how you are showing up in your own life that makes continuing the pattern genuinely impossible. When a pattern breaks, the first thing that happens is often a feeling of disorientation. Even patterns that limit us feel familiar, and familiarity has its own kind of comfort. You may feel briefly unsteady as this one releases. That is completely normal. That is not a sign that something is wrong. It is the feeling of space opening up, of something that has been occupying room in your life and in your mind for a very long time finally clearing. And what moves into that space will be new, genuinely new. Not a variation of the old pattern wearing a different face. Something that belongs to the version of your life that is becoming possible as the old pattern completes its run. Make room, Virgo. Be patient with the disorientation. What is coming is worth every moment of the unfamiliar. 11. The universe presents Virgo with something that does not require being earned, only recognized and received. Of all the opportunities on this list, this one may be the most challenging for you. And not because it is difficult in the way that most challenges are difficult. It is challenging because it requires something of you that does not come naturally. Virgo, you are a giver. You are a worker. You believe in earning what you receive, in deserving what comes to you, in doing the necessary preparation before the reward arrives. You are deeply uncomfortable with the idea of receiving something you have not specifically prepared for, have not specifically worked toward, have not specifically earned by the standards of your own exacting internal accounting. But there is a gift approaching you that does not fit those categories. It is not the result of any particular effort you made. It is not the reward for any specific work you did. It is something the universe is placing in your path because you are here, because of who you are, because of the accumulated energy of everything you have been and everything you have given across the whole of your life. And the only thing required of you in this moment is the ability to recognize it for what it is, and to let yourself receive it without immediately asking whether you deserve it. That question, do I deserve this, is one your mind will reach for automatically. It is part of your makeup, part of how you move through the world. But it is not a question that serves you here. The answer, if you will allow yourself to hear it, is simple. Yes, you do. Not because of anything you did last week or last year or in the last phase of your life, but because of the long, honest, careful, devoted way you have moved through your existence. The universe keeps accounts that are more comprehensive and more generous than yours. It has been watching. It has noticed. And what it is sending you now is its way of saying so. Receive it, Virgo. Open your hands. Let it in. If this message resonated with your sign, trust that it is not a coincidence. When the universe wants to speak to you, it always sends exactly the right signal. And you are here because you needed to hear this today. Your support as a subscriber or as a member of this community is what keeps these messages alive. They are the messages that touch, awaken, and transform. If this video made sense to you, leave in the comments the day you were born. Virgo, the opportunities described in this message are not predictions of things that might happen to someone else. They are descriptions of what is already in motion for you, already moving in your direction with the kind of quiet inevitability that the universe manages so well. You may not be able to see all of them yet. Some of them are still approaching from just over the horizon, just out of the range of even your perceptive eyes. But they are coming. And the most important thing you can do as they arrive is to be present enough to recognize them for what they are. Your greatest challenge in receiving these opportunities is not your lack of ability. It is not your lack of intelligence or your lack of preparation. It is the tendency so natural to your sign to analyze before you allow yourself to feel, to assess before you allow yourself to trust, to prepare for every possibility except the one that says, this is yours simply because it is, and all you need to do is say yes. Practice saying yes, Virgo. Not the reckless, unprepared yes that does not suit your nature, but the open, willing, quietly courageous yes that says, I see this. I recognize it. I am ready. I will let myself have this. The plans you have made are good plans. The preparation you have done is real preparation. But the best things coming toward you right now are arriving outside your plans, in the unscheduled spaces, through the unexpected channels, in the voices of people who showed up in ways you did not arrange. This is the universe working with the full picture while you work with the part you can see. Trust that the full picture is leading somewhere extraordinary. You have been careful for a long time. You have been thorough for a long time. You have given and served and prepared and perfected for a long time. And now, at this moment, life is meeting all of that with something that does not ask you to work harder or plan better or prepare more thoroughly. It is asking you to simply open your eyes, trust what you see, and take the step. The opportunities are here. Virgo is ready, and what is coming is more than worth the receiving.